Hey guys. Alrighty. So once again, we are sorry. We are going into blade maintenance. Okay. Right. So, with where we last were, um, I was just finishing up with um, the blade on my hand plane, which is definitely gone to a nice spot. And I also just did the as I also just started up my flat heel spoke shave. So I do want to just try to see if I can get through a little bit more, just because I'll have work in the morning. Okay, but here's what we're gonna do. First things first. Give this a good soaking again. Okay. Yeah, so with this, so I'm going to just work a little, just polish a bit of the back bevel, and this is going to basically go for some of the polishing. There we go. And then finally we're going to just do a little okay, am I seeing things, or is this blade out of alignment now? Nope, I was seeing things. Thank God. Okay. Right. Honing guide. go. And it is secured in the honing guide. I'm just going to tighten that down just a little bit more. Okay. Okay, and then polish up the front bevel. Yeah, it's probably going to just take a little bit to get rid of that accidental, like, extra bevel. Just because this is 1,000 grit. So it's not meant to take off a whole lot like the 220 is. I think that's still looking pretty good. Probably needs a little more truing up. It may need a little more attention than I probably want to give it, at least at the moment, because I want to try to make sure I can sort of do some final final touches and whatnot. I'm going to try to see about kind of polishing off the flat heel spoke shave. Yeah, the primary sign for me that I'm doing pretty good on the back, that I've done pretty good on the back bevel, is, I'm not feeling too many snags of the reg. Okay. Put that there. I'm going to switch this over to the 220 side. And I'm going to see about oh, hey, mask, cool, yeah. Yeah, it's all good, man. So, what I just finished up was the this is the flat blade for the flat heel spoke shave. And then, so this one is a, so here's something really refreshing kind of to see, but check this out. And I don't know how well the camera will pick this up, but this blade is a Sears blade that was made in England. And it's an old block plane, which is this one right here. And funny enough, this whole plane was actually made in England. On a later date, I'm actually going to take care of the bottom of this because planes can actually kind of warp a little bit. But that being said, though, so I've just switched this Waterstone over to the 220 grit side. And we're going to give this a nice sharpening. So the important thing with these Waterstones is that you have to keep them hydrated, as I'm pretty sure you saw me do in the first vid. Yeah, and also, Mask, if you have any questions at all, I'm in live stream chat, and feel free to ask. Okay. So, yeah. So with this, I think I'm definitely going to do with the honing guide. That's the one thing that gets tricky about doing this kind of sharpening. It's making sure that the angle is correct and that this is like flat to the stone. Yeah, and I appreciate the view, and I appreciate you watching the first one as well, Mask. I really do. There we go. So, get that there, and then just one little quarter turn for good measure. And then hello. Oh. Yeah, the server just found me as inactive. No, I got you. Yeah, the server found me as inactive and basically, and I thought somebody entered the room, and I was like, hello? Hey, Amber. Listen, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I should say, I am lurker-friendly. It's just, you know, when you're focusing on a blade profile, I got one thing right over here, and then as I've got my gaze over here, and then I'm like, huh? I kind of feel like a little bit like Rip Van Winkle, and it's just like I said, it's like I look up, 30 years have passed. Huh? What happened? Anyways, though, get a little more water on here. Okay. I will say the honing guide is a really great tool to have. Alright, well, we're getting somewhere. Yeah, there's just, I don't know how well you guys will be able to see it, but this little SOB over here is the problem. It's this, like, it's probably about a 16th of an, or maybe even a 32nd of an inch into the blade, but that's a noticeable nick right there. Yeesh. Okay. Yeah, because I will say, round by 8:30, I've got to hop off as well, because I'll have an early night to get going to as well. Let's see. But yeah, let's try to get this going a little more. Yeah, because I'm going to see if I can maybe move my fingers down a little closer to the bevel and see if that does anything noticeable. Or even like... Yeah, because the main thing for me is the direction. There's a part of me that feels like I need to make a fence to keep the honing guide centered and square so that I have an easy, path. Alright. Yeah, this is like... Oy. This neck is gonna give some problems. I think I should move the angle just a little bit higher, because usually with nicks in the blade, because the problem is it's a dent in the metal, and the edge has to be level. So I think for this particular case, I think I've got to take the blade and I'm going to move it, and I'm going to move the angle slightly higher so that it's not too much on the cutting edge, but enough so that I can wear this nick down just a little bit more, and then I can basically start on forming a new, for lack of a better descriptor, a new cutting edge. So move that up. This is yeah, I think that's probably how it's gonna have to be at. Yeah, because then the bevel's gonna need correcting. Okay. And hydration. Okay. Alright, getting a little further along. Okay, closer and closer. So at least I know I'm doing something right. But so guys, while I'm doing this, I did want to ask real quick. I had an idea and I just wanted to ask opinions of like how this name sounded. But I'm thinking about calling these streams, if I ever do them, kind of calling them the Shop series, of just the series of streams where I am in my workshop doing things. You know what I mean? So, I'm going to take this and just kind of spread it up on the blade because the slurry is what's helping out with the sharpening. But what do you guys think? How does the name sound? Water. What up? What a, what a, what a. What a, Walla Walla, Washington. This. Cool. This, yeah, no problem. There's no problem, Mask. I don't know how much of the stream I might be able to catch, because like I said, at 8:30, I gotta head up. But I appreciate you coming in and helping me out. Seriously, like, much love, my guy, and I appreciate your input. The shops. Yes. That Bevel that Nick is going down to Goblin Town. Down to Goblin Town. Oh. Ha, 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 ha. I don't know why I just did that. Well, we'll run with it. But yeah, that Nick is barely noticeable now. I'm just going to give it maybe a couple more passes and then do a quick then a quick dash on the back bevel. This is looking good. All right. As right now, so the back bevel, I will say, isn't too bad. But at the same time, it's something still to do. Because sharpening is all about balance. As on one, you do on the other. then now, basically, because there is this little sharpened bit over here, but now comes the the need to essentially kind of level things out on the bevel. Yeah, that's definitely going to need some time tomorrow. So we'll save that one for tomorrow. I think something that I do want to make sure I do is the blade for my round heel spoke shave. Okay. On the... Nigel, turn on the emergency power supply. Turn on the what? The little blue button. Right-o. Sorry, I just randomly had the wild thornberries going in my head. Okay, anyways, okay, I'm going to try to use the honing guide. Yeah. Oh, you know, actually, there's one thing I want to make sure I do before I do anything else, and that is to use a bit of this. So this is a small lump of beeswax. I just want to try to soften this up a little bit. I just want to soften this up a little bit. So, cool thing about that I recently learned with regards to beeswax. So, what this specifically is, I should say, is that this is beeswax that has been melted with mineral oil. So the idea is that the mineral oil acts with what's called the carrier oil, because beeswax, when you get it as a puck, usually out of a hardware store, sometimes it comes in a puck, sometimes it comes in a brick. The thing is that you it's hard, so the mineral oil kind of softens it up quite a bit. But the thing is, the way that I did it was basically I melted the wax into the mineral oil, and I don't believe that was maybe the best thing for it, because it coagulates and then it's not so much soft as much as that I have to exert a fair amount of pressure. I mean, it's like unless I knead it with putty, is needed like a putty, then that's really the only way that I kind of am able to do anything with it. But the point is that beeswax is a sealer. It's a very good sealer at that, and it helps to seal metal so that it doesn't oxidize. Because if you leave the water on there, then the blade is going to oxidize and it's going to rust, and then it's got to be cleaned, resharp, and it's got to be cleaned, etc. So, good thing to do is get beeswax and use it as a sealer. You can even, I believe there even should be some like independent sellers that have like pre-softened beeswax, but the way that I have read up on how you can do it is basically take the beeswax and put it in a double boiler, or do what's called alla bagno maria, which is an Italian method of cooking, but specifically it's where you do it kind of like you heat it in water essentially, but it's like a double boiler type of deal, and you mix the mineral oil with the beeswax, and there's a certain, like, you kind of experiment with ratios to see the consistency that you like. But the mineral oil, that from what I've read, mineral oil is a good carrier oil for soft beeswax. All right. You just kind of like wipe off some of the excess. I'm going to have to try to seal some of the other blades later, and I'm going to have to figure out my beeswax problem or situation. Regardless, we're going to work with the honing guide again, and we're going to see So I think either I need to fabricate my own honing guide, or I don't know. That being said, and we're gonna hydrate. There we go. All right, we're just going to take this nice and easy. Trying to keep the angle even. Okay, that front bevel looks good. I'm going to move to the back bevel. Okay, looking good. This one is definitely looking nice. Okay. And then I don't know how much time I'm going to have for this, but so this is my Milwaukee Tradesman, and it is definitely in need of some TLC. So yeah, this blade's got some serious nicks in it. But so, let's see if a Waterstone, like it's helped out these chisel blades. Let's see if it can help out with a knife. So we're going to start out with at least the easier part of the blade. So the difference between when you're working with a knife versus one of these is that you're working with... Whoopsies. You're working with a blade that is a single bevel, which means which means one angle creates the edge. And then you have knives, which are double beveled instruments, which means two bevels create the cutting edge. I will say I think I might need to... probably make a whole other episode, as other stream or a new shop series for specifically for knife care. And again, yeah, because I mean, yeah, so it's definitely doing something, but it's not going to be as easy as it's not going to be as easy as doing the chisel and plane blades, because like I said, it's a single bevel instrument, and you can see I feel like with those you can tell your progress fairly easily. But the only other thing I would say is that point is that with a single bevel blade, you're not working with a whole lot. You don't have to worry about too much. With a knife, you're dealing with two bevels, two angles. So you're dealing with creating an even profile on both sides. And the point is, this is kind of a whole... This is a slightly different... This is a different animal in its own regard. It's because, like... Best way to put it is like this. If spokeshaves... If we're talking about dogs... If planes, chisels, and spokeshaves and whatnot are what's it called? If all of these are Canis domesticus, domesticated dogs, the knife is Canis lupus, the common wolf. If single beveled instruments are German shepherds, this is a Cane Corso. Point is, they're bladed instruments, but one is different from the other. And that's mainly it. But just while we got 5 minutes left, guys, this is just a little word before I go. So, what I want to tell you guys is this. Is that the fundamental part of the shop series is that is the fact of this. I know certain things, but I am an amateur. In the shop, there is teaching and learning in equal measure. And what I don't know, I hope to learn by those who feel that they have it in their heart to teach me. And vice versa, I hope to do the same. So I want this to be a place where we can work together, learn together, work together, live together, and learn together. I don't know if I said that twice, but the main thing is that I encourage all of you guys to do your own research into the techniques that I've had, and if there's something that you guys find, let me know. And if you guys ever want me to try to do something, or if you guys are interested in something that I'm doing that you guys feel like, oh, hey, I'd like to learn that. What's, what's the, how did you make that stick on the wall over there and whatnot? And I can be like, well, I'll show you and everything. So I'd love for us to do stuff like that. But until next time, guys, I've got to get running. But thank you all for joining me, and hope to catch you on the next one. See ya.